Today's top stories and your weather forecast in the first 8 minutes. Now on 8 News at 11.
We begin tonight with your weather. Snow is once again falling across central Virginia.
And apparently the heaviest is yet to come. Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Christina Wric.
I'm Juan Condi. Some area schools are already calling it for tomorrow. They include Colonial Heights, Hopewell, Petersburg, and several others. They're all opening late.
We want to let you know, though, nothing from Chesterfield, Richmond, or Henrico. So as of now, kids, hopefully you're in your beds now because you have a full school day, at least for now.
All right, let's go to JB for a look at that storm tracker forecast.
All right, well, we're kind of in a waiting mode. We've started to get a little bit of light snow outside, but it's coming down very lightly. It needs to come down really hard in order to accumulate it. Still have the winter storm warning in effect, the areas in dark blue. If this thing changes, it may get slid to the east because I am seeing a little bit better in the way of precipitation up to the east of the city. Here's what's going on right now. Gap open to the west. Here's kind of what I'm worried about right down here. Coming out of Georgia and up into western North Carolina is a pocket of dry air. It's been created by these thunderstorms, and that may try to shunt the storm a little bit further to the east from us here in central Virginia. Again, light snow over us here. It looks like it's a little more substantial up through the northern neck and then down through the middle peninsula along and kind of on the east side of US 360. So what do I see happening for the remainder of the night? Again, the best snow looks like it's right here and just off to the east of us through the evening hours. And then as we head overnight, this is going to be the opportunity for us from Richmond up towards Tappahannock and West Point to see the heaviest snowfall. And again, if it just comes down light and fluffy, we're not going to get anything out of this system, okay? It's really got to start to come down hard in order for us to have some good accumulations. By early tomorrow morning, it's packing up, it's moving out of the way. Right now, I'll leave this 2 to 4 inch band over us here across central Virginia, but I can make a case for sliding the heavy area maybe about 15 or 20 miles to the east, which would leave much of the western half of the metro area closer to 1 to 2 inches, and most of that on grassy surfaces. We'll look ahead to the weekend in just a little bit.
Thanks, JB. To track the storm on your cell phone wherever you go, download the 8 News Storm Tracker app.
And as yet another winter storm hits central Virginia, VDOT telling drivers they'll do whatever it takes to keep them safe.
Hopefully we won't see as much as you're looking at there on the right-hand side of your screen. But the question is there enough money to keep the roads plowed and salted and sanded?
All right, news reporter Matthew McClellan talked with VDOT earlier today.
He's live now in Chesterfield with the latest. Matthew?
Juan, Christina, VDOT officials calling this an emergency operation. Crews were not able to pre-treat the roads because the storm did begin as a rain event in many areas. Meanwhile, officials telling us they are not exactly sure how much money they have left in their operating budget, but saying they will spend whatever it takes to keep the roads safe overnight.
You probably will not wake up to this in the morning, but there is a likely chance some snow will cover central Virginia roads overnight.
We're in emergency operations, so we're definitely working around the clock.
After an historic winter storm in January and more snow in February, much of the more than $200 million set aside for roads during winter storms is all but gone.
So because we're still totaling out those invoices from these past weather events, it's going to be a little while before we know what kind of changes might need to be made.
Jessica Cowarden is a spokeswoman for Virginia Department of Transportation. She says because much of the snow budget is gone, officials may have to dip into VDOT's budget for regular maintenance projects.
The snow budget is just a small part of an overall $250 million maintenance budget.
That kind of measure could delay projects like ditch cleaning and road paving. But Cowarden says safety must come first.
We'll spend what it takes, and our focus will remain on snow removal right now and then potholes, and we'll be preparing the roads for spring projects and construction season as that approaches.
VDOT's Richmond district maintains more than 18,000 roads across central Virginia. To check road conditions where you live, find the link to this story online at WRAC.com. Reporting live in Chesterfield, Matthew McClellan, 8 News.
It was February 15th, and it was just a terrible, ice came out of nowhere.
That's a warning tonight from a state trooper seriously injured in a horrific crash on Route 288 during last month's ice storm. Slow down. Trooper John Glasscock was working an accident when a car hit a patch of ice and then barreled into him and 2 others. 53-year-old Sharon Latender was killed. Glasscock, who was just released from the hospital, hopes to be out of his full body cast in 8 weeks. But with another round of snow on the way, his message means more than ever.
Just over the course of that hour, the roads just turned abysmal. And I don't think most motorists realize how bad it was getting, how quickly. Because we were watching people, well, literally, we were watching people crash around us. I mean, the human body is not meant to be struck by a car at 55 miles an hour, and you're not supposed to make it through.
A firefighter was also injured in that accident. Authorities have charged the person who hit the folks there with reckless driving.
Parents, meanwhile, those snow days are adding up, so we did some digging to find out if makeup days for schools are on the horizon. Richmond tells us with 4 missed days and 2 delays, there is no need right now to make up any time. With 5 snow days and 2 delays so far this year, Hanover are also good to go. Henrico would have to lose almost 2 more weeks for it to be an issue there. And Chesterfield says they are continuing to review the school calendar. Meanwhile, the Good Morning Richmond team will also have everything you need to know when you wake up early tomorrow. They are starting early at 4 a.m.
News where you live now in Petersburg, where heads are rolling. Petersburg City Council has terminated City Manager William Johnson III, and he was not the only one on the chopping block. 8 News reporter Nicole Williams joins us now with the details. Nicole?
William Johnson was terminated as city manager, effective immediately. Tonight, agreed to step down. Now, tomorrow will be Telfair's last day on the job. We're told there was a unanimous vote by council tonight, with Mayor Howard Myers holding back his vote. All of this on the heels of a public uproar over the city's ballooning deficit, a projected $3.5 million shortfall, not to mention skyrocketing utility and property bills. In a previous interview, the city manager told 8 News he realizes this is a tough time for the city and the residents, and that he was only doing what he could to make things better.
I just want everybody to continue to believe in Petersburg and know that we're going to be good stewards of their funding, and everybody has to do their part.
Lots of indication tonight that suggests council did not believe Johnson was being a good steward over the city's resources. But Johnson affirming to us that residents' failure to pay taxes was a big part of the financial woes, and that everyone, like you just heard him say, should do their part, adding the money problem started long before he got there and can't be fixed overnight. Now, council holds their next meeting March 15th. I'm Nicole Williams, 8 News.
We have an update now to last night's breaking news. We now know 54-year-old Thomas Jones is the man found dead in a Churchill home. Police tell us he was shot in the head. Family members found him, called police just before 8:30. We're told the door was locked, and detectives say nothing seemed out of place. If you know anything that can help, call police. A Henrico man pleads guilty to enticement and sex trafficking of a minor. 47-year-old Stephen Callis admits that he posed as a teen on Kik to talk with the 15-year-old victim. Police say he sent her nude pictures and met her at a hotel in November of 2014, where he paid her $60 for sex. Investigators believe it happened 7 times. Callis could get up to life in prison when he is sentenced in June.
Happening now, 2 men accused of firing shots at several cars in Northern Virginia are holed up in a townhouse in Manassas, possibly with automatic weapons. And for that reason, the ATF is on the scene. This all started this afternoon. 3 area schools on lockdown because of it. That has now been lifted. Several vehicles were damaged by that gunfire. Luckily, no one was hurt. A UVA student detained in North Korea gets a visit from Swedish diplomats. North Korea arrested Otto Warmbier back in January. On Monday, he tearfully apologized for trying to steal a political banner from a hotel where he'd been staying. Since the United States doesn't have diplomatic relations with North Korea, Sweden stepped in. No other information about that visit has been provided.
News where you live now in Richmond. A low-income daycare is forced to shut its doors. The center, along with parents and children it serves, at a loss tonight. Here's 8 News reporter Nicole Williams.
Tamara Perry's 2 boys attend Southside Child Development Center, but not for long.
I was really sad, and I was a little upset.
After 85 years, the center is closing its doors in June. Perry waits outside the director's door to talk about what her options are.
The cost is the factor in this, and so funders are saying that they just can't continue to support us without us being able to support ourselves some, which is a hardship when you deal with the families that we serve.
Unable to afford the cost of market daycare, Perry says the center has made a huge difference in her life and countless others with low income, most around $30,000 or less, either working or in school.
2 years ago, I started nursing school, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to finish because I didn't know what I was going to do for daycare.
Faye Hamlet picks up her 5-year-old daughter, who luckily, she says, goes to kindergarten in the fall.
If it wasn't for the school, I don't know how I would have been able to work and afford daycare.
Parents say the school closing is a hard pill to swallow, with a stellar program that keeps about 70 kids safe, happy, and learning.
I'm really going to miss it. I mean, they've been good to us. It's just sad. It really is sad.
Administrators are working hard to make sure when it's time, all children have a place to go.
We want them to know that we stand behind them, and if an opportunity does come where we can relocate to another area, yes, we would be very interested in doing that.
The school is planning a forum next Tuesday for parents, community members, and really anyone who might be able to help. Nikel Williams, 8 News.
This is actually the second low-income daycare to close in the city within 5 months. The Williamburg Community House on South Cherry closed in December, forcing parents to find a new place to leave their children while they work.
After skipping the last Fox debate, GOP frontrunner Donald Trump returned to the stage tonight in Detroit. It's Vote 2016. His exchanges with Megyn Kelly, who'd accused him of Trump of sexism, were cordial. Exchanges with John Kasich and Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, much less so. It's clear the man who dominated Super Tuesday for the Republicans is in the crosshairs.
Because he doesn't have answers, and he's asking us to make him the president of the United States.
Donald Trump has written checks to Hillary Clinton, not once, not twice, not 3 times, 10 times.
On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton returned to New York, where she kicked off her campaign 9 months ago. She held several events talking about economic issues. Rival Bernie Sanders was in several states going after Clinton's record on the Keystone Pipeline and other issues. He calls her position on trade a disaster. For everything you need to know ahead of the presidential election in November, stay with 8 News. We'll have the latest information for you here on air, on social media, and at WRIC.com.
Up next, do you want to make a phone call? I won't sing for you, but these Henrico teachers, they're singing, putting on a nice snow dance to the tune of Frozen. You'll hear it and see it. That's coming up next. Matthew?
We are live in Chesterfield County, taking a look at road conditions and the snow as it comes down. We will have an update on those conditions just ahead. John.
Yeah, no, the snow's kind of nice looking outside across central Virginia right now, but still the snowfall rate is so light that if it doesn't pick up, those Henrico school teachers might be singing the blues because they may have to work tomorrow. My weekend forecast for what's happening after the snow is up next.
Thanks, JV. And with that snow coming down, you know what it means. We want you to send us pictures. And we don't mean those stock photos of your back deck. Show us what's happening where you live. Email your images to ireport8@wric.com.
You're watching 8 News at 11. It's the news where you live. The Fan, Powhatan, along the James River.
All right, let's take another live look at the snow. No?
No, just us.
We're back with more in just a sec. Don't go away.
Welcome back. Snow starting to fall once again over central Virginia.
So far, it's very light, but we sent 8 News reporter Matthew McClellan out in it to get a live report. What's happening?
Hey, Juan. Yeah, we've been watching the snowfall for a little more than an hour now. That first happening as we were headed south on Powhite Parkway, seeing kind of that light, fluffy snow that moves very slowly to the ground, the beautiful stuff. Later, that snow turning into the wet, quickly falling iteration of snow. I'm no meteorologist, so I can't really categorize it. But right now, we are seeing smaller flakes coming down, just kind of flurrying to the ground. I'm at Westchester Commons right now. I want to show you kind of what we're looking at. This snow coming down right now is creating kind of a haze over everything that's behind us here, just kind of showing you how much of it there is coming down at once. There is some accumulation right now. We are not at a freezing level here in Chesterfield just yet, but right now, a little bit of snow on the ground, melting just as you touch it. The big concern, of course, for drivers is as we get into the low 30s, into the early morning hours, will that cause some freezing to happen on the roads? VDOT says they have salt trucks and sand trucks out on the road, making sure that drivers do have a safe and smooth commute to work for those who have to work tomorrow. We will keep you updated on these weather conditions as the night continues. Reporting live in Chesterfield County, Matthew McClellan, 8 News.
And as Matthew said, the heaviest accumulations will be on grassy surfaces. Road surfaces are still a little bit mild from all the warm temperatures the past few days, and that's going to help out some of the roads. And of course, once they get salt and chemicals down, it will help. There's enough salt out in the TV8 parking lot right now to pay a few Roman legions a couple of centuries worth of salaries out there. They really spread it out there thick tonight over. Here's the system that's coming through the area right now, moving through now. You notice these bright clouds down to the south. This is one of the problems with this storm if you're looking for a lot of snow. These thunderstorms, they've taken away some of the moisture that's trying to come in our direction. And this may result in the areas of heavier snow shifting a little bit east, maybe 15 miles, maybe potentially 20 miles or so, a little further to the east from the metro area. You can see kind of a little dry hole that opened up back off to the west. It's starting to fill back in a little bit, so there's still hope for some appreciable accumulations in west of town. But this is the steadiest band that may have the best snowfall rate coming down. It kind of hit and miss over Richmond and areas west of Interstate 95 as it stands right now. So again, we're kind of watching all this swinging through here. Got to pick up a little more back off to the west. Outside your back door right now, we're 34 degrees. It's 34 degrees in Louisa, still 36 degrees in Hanover, which means that when you're figuring out how much snow is going to fall, you have to accommodate. It's going to be a wetter snow across the area. The remainder of the night looks like the best band of snow will be over us between now and around 3 a.m. and then overnight it's going to slide to the east and move on out of the way. By tomorrow morning, things are going to quiet down and break down. Again, holding on to this 2 to 4 inch band for us, but this could slip a little bit to the east and kind of rotate that way. Maybe a couple pockets of isolated 4 inches or more off to the northeast of us as you head up US 360 towards the northern neck and areas east of US 360. Tomorrow, everything comes to an end quickly. The snow's gone, even ends off the coastline by mid-morning. A few breaks for sunshine. It's going to be cloudy and windy, a temperature of 43 degrees. The weather where you live tomorrow, once the snow comes to an end, a few breaks of sunshine. Still kind of a cool day for us. However, this system on the way, off to the east, out of the way. It's going to be windy along the coastline tomorrow. Tomorrow night, a few breaks in the clouds developing over the area for us. It'll take us into the weekend that is going to be partly cloudy across central Virginia. Temperatures around 50 Saturday, Sunday, 62 on Monday, and then 70s next week. Maybe we're finally saying goodbye to winter after tomorrow morning.
Last gasp. Don't go goodbye right now. Sports is coming up next.
We're just waving bye to the snow.
Welcome back. It's time for the 8 Sports Report. The Virginia High School League State Championships began tonight at the Siegel Center. LC Birds boys and Monacan girls began their runs at a state title. Virginia Tech head coach Buzz Williams in the house to watch LC Birds Mario Haskett. Maybe he found another guard tonight. Pinky Wiley balled out on the wing right in front of Buzz. Then he crosses in and the kiss off the glass. Later, Charles Falden on the break tosses to Wiley, who makes it a 3 right in front of Coach again. Bird led by 14 at the half. Wiley can distribute too. He dishes to Mario Haskett. Haskett pump fake to score. Your thoughts, Buzz? I think he likes what he sees. Now back to Wiley. Potomac falls, scores, but no sooner can they get the ball out of the basket and the ball gets to Wiley. LC Bird moves on in the state finals with an 82-59 win. 4A girls, Monacan and Loudoun Valley. Monacan hopes to repeat as state champs. They're off to a good start. First half, Alex Parson from the short corner jumper, no good, but Megan Walker is there to clean the mess up. Minutes later, Walker playing some defense. She would get into the passing lane and watch her smoothly coast down the lane, wait for the contact, take the contact, and make it. She had 19 points. Monacan led by 16 at the half. But the player of the game was Jaden Morris, number 5. Quick as lightning, she scored 25 tonight to lead all scores. One of those 25 was her 1,000th career point. So way to go, Jaden. Monacan beats Loudoun Valley 73-50. Most of you think tonight's just a routine night, but in the CrossFit world, it's a major occasion. In fact, nearly 100 people got together at CrossFit Addict in Henrico just to watch TV.
Forging Elite Fitness.
Nothing brings together a group of CrossFitters.
But are we going to watch this whole workout before we start?
Like a workout release party.
1 minute.
Tonight, it's the release of CrossFit Open Workout 16.2.
Toe to bar.
50 double unders, 13 squat clean.
If all of this is gibberish to you, here's an expert to explain.
We are in the week 2, the second week of the CrossFit Open. CrossFit Open is a 5-week series.
After qualifying here,
I don't think that I'm going to need anything more than that.
And then again in regional competition.
Okay, so I'm just adding the 15.
CrossFit athletes can make it to the televised national competition.
Ben Smith is going to win heavy DT.
Last year's men's winner was a Virginian, 25-year-old Ben Smith.
He doesn't even look tired.
And even he had to start in a place like this.
That's what's special about CrossFit. It's relative intensity. My mom can come in here and work out right next to Ben Smith as well if I was only to be so lucky to get Ben Smith to stop by.
Trey McFerrin has owned and operated CrossFit Addict for 3 years. He's seen his gym, or box in CrossFit speak, grow along with the sport.
Because the energy is special. The community is special.
And the best part of tonight is you don't have to win to get in a good workout. And that's it for sports. I'm Mitch Carr. We'll be right back.
Do you want to make a phone call and tell us all about
Glen Allen Elementary School teachers are not ready for winter to end. Check out this video tweeted out by Henrico Schools today. Vocals done by 2nd grade teacher Katie Offenlock. It is so cute. They have Andy Jenks there.
They're asking him to make a call on snow.
Please, Henrico, you are still in. Going to school, at least for now.
At least for now. JB, how are things changing?
Well, you know, I can see maybe a 40% chance that especially west of Interstate 95, this forecast may bust low on the snowfall amounts. Better bet maybe to the east of us. Whatever's going to happen, it's done by the time they would be starting school tomorrow. And many of the school jurisdictions, still sun tomorrow afternoon up to 43. Everything's gone over the weekend as we hit the 50s Saturday and Sunday, and then 70s. Next week with maybe a few thunderstorms on Thursday and Friday.
All right, thanks, JB. Don't forget that tomorrow morning you can find out what's going on bright and early at 4 a.m. with the Good Morning Richmond crew. They're in early.
And be sure to stay here all day as this weather unfolds. We thank you for joining us for 8 News at 11.
Good night.